time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get dry.
VOP Television, where the stories that matters most take center stage as we continue to amplify the voices, concerns, stories, and perspectives of the everyday Nigerian citizens. That's you and I. I am Adefunke Jayesimi, and today on People's Voice, we are shining the spotlight on Benue State, where the governor, Father Aliyah, submitted 8 nominations to the House of Assembly for confirmation, and in another development, hundreds of internally displaced persons, IDPs, housed at the Maga IDP camp Bayongo in the outskirts of Makurdi, Benue State capital, staged a protest over lack of food and other necessities. But before we dive deeper into that story, which has raised a lot of arguments and of course called for a lot of concern as Nigerians are more interested in what is happening to the people in the IDP. But there's something else happening in Benue State as UNICEF has taken a significant step in supporting the education of over 1,500 children displaced by the Yelwater attack in Benue State, Nigeria. The organization has provided learning materials, including exercise books, school bags, and sportwear to these children at a space learning center established at the temporary camp located at the International Market in Makurdi. Teachers deployed by the state government are teaching these children, ensuring that they do not fall behind in their studies. The UNICEF intervention aims to provide educational support and stability to these children with the commitment to continue supporting them even after they return home. This long-term approach emphasizes the importance of sustained educational support for children affected by crisis in Nigeria. However, UNICEF has also called for future support from relevant agencies, including the State's Emergency Management Agency and the State Universal Basic Education Board, to please provide additional education material and teachers. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Knowledge Management, Helen Nambati, highlighted the critical state these children are in, emphasizing that support now is crucial to prevent long-term negative consequences. There is a pressing need for more resources, including educational materials and teachers, to ensure these children can continue their education up to the tertiary level. And with UNICEF support, these children can have a chance to rebuild their lives and future. This is quite commendable. No children should be left outside the walls of school because of whatever crisis or challenges life has thrown at them. Kudos to UNICEF. But let's look into more news stories with details. Let's talk about Benue State, where the governor, Reverend Father Aliyah, has appointed 8 new commissioner nominees who have been transmitted to the Benue State House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. The nominees include Honorable Teresa Odachi Ikwe, Honorable Benjamin Ashava, Honorable Dr. Adamu Margaret Ijagua, Honorable Dr. Peter Obo Egbodo, Dr. Jangian Timothy Ongunga, Honorable Dennis Iyagba, Honorable James Dwem, and Dr. Paul Eje Ogbuche. The development marks a significant step in enhancing government and ensuring effective service delivery across various sectors in the state. And this actually followed the governor sacking some of his commissioners, some of his appointees. I think that's the right word to use. But let's talk about PDP's stance on endorsement. The PDP in Kano State People's Democratic Party has rejected the idea of endorsing any candidate other than their presidential flag bearer in 2027. The state party chairman, Yusuf Ado Kibia, emphasized the party's commitment to its objectives and distanced the party from members who joined the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Kibia also assured that only a significant number of party members had exited for the coalition and that their number was too small to affect the party's fortunes in the years ahead, especially in Kano State. But yes, there are predictions for 2027 elections, as Dr. Nicholas Felix, a former APC presidential aspirant, predicted that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would secure no fewer than 15 million votes in 2027 general elections. Felix dismissed the opposition coalition led by the ADC as weak and bound to collapse due to a lack of genuine vision and purpose. He cited the president's achievements, including the disbursement of over 100 billion naira in interest-free educational grants to 600 students through the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, as reasons why Nigerians would support him in the 2027 elections. Well, it talked about many other things, but is that enough? That's the question Nigerians are asking, wanting to know what exactly is significant or what is out of place. I mean, something extra that has been done by this administration to make Nigerians shun other candidates ahead of the 2027 general elections. But let's come to Imo State. The PDP in Imo State has actually condemned the killing of 22 persons by unidentified gunmen in Idiato North local government area. The PDP criticized the governor, Hope Uzodinma, for failing to show concern and empathy over the menace. The PDP called for proactive leadership and collaboration with security agencies to address insecurity in the state. The party has also expressed regret that the attack had added to the growing list of recent security breaches that have claimed the lives of innocent people in the state, and asking the governor to play more home than away and beyond being in Abuja and making decisions. The people really need to feel the impact of the governor and understand his position, being a part of what is happening in the state and also empathizing with the people that are affected. Still in the southeast, let's talk about the Anambra State infrastructure project. This is one which some people have commended and some people are talking about re-election bid, saying that the plans of the governor is not in any way going to deter opposition from taking over following the elections, which is proposed for later this year. But the Anambra State government has awarded contracts worth 3.6 billion naira for various infrastructure projects, including road construction and water sanitation facilities. The State Commissioner for Information, Law, MEFO, said the projects were approved during the 17th Anambra State Executive Council meeting held at the Lighthouse at Oka. The project includes the construction of 3.2-kilometer Nri Agbanagbo Nimo Road, construction of a one-story building student center at Unwafo Orizu College, and provision of water sanitation and hygiene facilities at Unkwo, Umenze, and Environment. Still in the southeast, Anioma State Creation has been making headlines, and the Anioma State Creation Technical Committee has urged indigents to support the push for a separate state, citing long-standing demands for development, equity, and representation. The committee's media and publicity director, Tony Ogana, emphasized the potential socio-economic benefits of creating a new state, including new jobs, contracts, and empowerment for women. Ogana dismissed suggestion that the campaign revolves around Senator Ned Nwoko, saying that once the state is created, the benefits will come to every Anioma person. The committee praised the APC and its members for their support and urged unity and purpose in supporting the noble aspiration. Well, we wish them good luck, but that's all we can take on the news stories at the moment. As we explore these stories and more, we want to hear from you. Join the conversation. Do well to call in or text via WhatsApp on 090-447-32605. 090-447-32605 is the number to call in or text us via WhatsApp, and you can follow us on social media at VOP TV Live. You can also use the hashtag to be a part of this conversation. People's Voice on VOP Television, and on YouTube we have Voice of the People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together let's make our voices heard. That's all in the news at this point. We would be right back after this short break to put more perspective on the protest that happened about 24 hours after the visit of Nigeria's First Lady Remi Tinubu to Benue State, where she had donated 1 billion naira for the upkeep of the displaced families in the state. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to People's Voice on VOP Television. So here's the details of the event that happened in Makurdi, Benue State. The protest by hundreds of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Benue State, Nigeria, highlights the ongoing struggles of displaced individuals in the region. IDPs from the Maga IDP camp in Mbayogo barricaded the Makodi-Lafia highway, demanding better living conditions, food, and medical care. They chanted slogans like, "We are hungry and we want to go back home," expressing frustration over inadequate food, shelter, and medical care. The Benue State Emergency Management Agency claims the protest is politically motivated, stating that food is being provided to the IDPs. BSEMA's Information Officer, Tema Aga, explained that the 1 billion naira donation by First Lady Remi Tinubu is for resettlement, not immediate food distribution. But however, the IDPs seem to expect immediate relief, and the timing of the protest just 24 hours after the First Lady's visit and donation announcement has sparked controversy, with a lot of reactions and people looking into what exactly the situation is and who is saying the truth or who is trying to protect or shield the government. Whatever the situation is, protesters, including Rebecca Awuse, has expressed, she was interviewed and she expressed these concerns over living conditions, citing inadequate food, shelter, and medical care. She talked about some pregnant women who have reportedly lost their pregnancies due to lack of treatment, and IDPs demand either proper care or safe return to their ancestral homes. Aga mentioned that food distribution is ongoing, with the last major distribution happening in May, but acknowledged that some IDPs moved between camps to collect more food, indicating potential mismanagement or insufficient supplies. So that's where the crux of the matter is. At one point, you're saying that these monies is not for immediate distribution of food, it's for resettlement. In another conversation, you are talking about distribution ongoing, which a major one happened in May. May, in my opinion, is about 2 months from July 31st, July 30th. And of course, acknowledging that some IDPs moved between camps to collect more food indicates mismanagement and insufficient supply. So maybe the claims of those talking about hunger are actually valid and right. But this situation underscores the need for effective management of IDP camps and timely provision of essential services to prevent further escalation. The government must address the IDP concerns and provide adequate support to ensure their well-being and safety. The controversy surrounding this donation highlights the importance of clear communication and coordination between the government and the IDPs to ensure that aid reaches those in need. And I think it's unfortunate that people have to go through it, but the least that the government can do is to provide a safe haven and also make provision for food. Beyond food, I think there's a part of counseling and a lot that needs to be done beyond just food. If women are losing pregnancies, women like that will definitely be traumatized. But I mean, it's not mine to analyze the stories in details. I'm now being joined virtually by Dr. Steve Okwori, a security expert and political analyst who is also an indigene of Benue State. I mean, he's bringing a better perspective to the conversations just so we can understand what is happening and how to move forward from here. Good afternoon, Dr. Okwori. Welcome to People's Voice.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be back again.
If you can hear me, can you please speak up?
Yes, I say good afternoon. I'm happy to be with you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you faintly. So let's just dive deep into the issue. Let's talk about this protest. These are your people, these are your sisters, your brothers, your family members. What do you think triggered the protest by the IDPs in Benue State, and how did the government respond to their demands? Okay, Doctor, I would like us to go on a break now. We'll return shortly. Let's work on the audio.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the medical field. Join us every Saturday, 2 p.m. on Health Check. Health Check on VOP TV. Your health, our priority.
Voice of the People Television awuchiela o onye nụ ya ka ọrụ ibe ya. Ị chọrọ ịmata akụkọ ndị gbara n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche n'ala anyị kwa ụbọchị. Ị chọrọ ịmata ka o si afịatụ na ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị, agụmakwụkwọ.
Many thanks for staying with the People's Voice. And yes, I'm being joined by Dr. Steve Okwori. Before we went on that break, I was talking about the importance of the government how important it is for the government to address the IDPs' concerns and provide adequate support to ensure their well-being and safety. And of course, the controversy surrounding the donation, clear communication and coordination between the government and the IDPs to ensure that aid reaches those in need. And I don't think there's any smoke without fire. If the people are coming out on the street, there must be speculations around. Maybe they heard something, but let's go straight to Dr. Steve Okwori now. Dr. Steve, can you hear me now?
Yeah, very well. I can hear you.
All right. I'd like you to please switch your camera on so that we can see you.
Mike.
All right. So let's talk about what's happening in Benue State, like I established earlier. These are your people, your sisters, your brothers, your family. What exactly triggered the protest by the IDPs in Benue State, and how do you react to the government's response to their demand?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the IDPs from the Elwata massacre are on the front burner, not based on their insecurity that the government could not provide, but this is purely based on services that are supposed to be rendered to them by the government, right? It is where they are, it's not their intention. They are not supposed to be in IDP camps. An average thief man or thief person is a hardworking person.
Right.
They till their soil, they farm to take care of their needs and all that, and even to the point of selling whatever they farm. So an average thief man is a hardworking person, a peasant farmer that farms for the purpose of his or her immediate family or for the purpose of commercial.
Right.
Now they've gone to find themselves in an IDP camp, which is not their wish,
right,
but it's as a result of the insecurity that were within the community, that terrorists that I call them came to carry out violent attacks on them. Now, these people are where they are not supposed to be. The government is supposed to provide certain services for them in that camp, which is their temporary abode.
Right.
We have the State Emergency Management Agency. We have the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. These key agencies are saddled with the responsibility of such emergencies. The heads of these two agencies that has to do with humanitarian services or affairs,
right,
they are not new to the issues when it has to do with IDPs. Now, I am aware that there are certain departments and units that as they get IDP into a certain place or camp, there are certain services they are supposed to render. So number one, food. First of all, shelter. When you get shelter for them, the next thing you think about is to see how to make the place a little bit comfortable, right, where they will have mattresses, food, water. We are talking about sanitation here, water, some basic needs that human beings need at that particular point in time. But here we are saddled with they are saddled with the responsibility of them taking care of themselves rather than the government taking care of them.
So, doctor, what are you saying? Are you saying that the people are not getting the treatment due? I mean, the basic treatment.
Absolutely, they are not getting it. If they are getting it, they won't come out protesting, right? And it's unfortunate for the what do you call them now? The executive, the representative of the state emergency management agency, to come and say that the protest is political motivated.
Exactly. I was going there because I mean a lot of people have reacted to that. I think that is the worst. That is the worst option that you could have come up with, no matter what the situation is. But people are also speculating that this was about the 1 million donation. That why have the people not come out to talk about their reality ahead of the First Lady's visit to Benue State? But how did the IDP react to that announcement, and what were the expectations? Because on the part of the government, they've said that the monies were for resettlement and not immediate funding will go into feeding. So what measures has the government taken to address their concern, provide them with necessary support, and what were the IDPs also expecting following that visit by the First Lady?
The IDPs are not even asking for too much. This is not the first protest. The first protest had to do with non-availability of food, right? There was no food in their camp. And when there's no food, what do you expect? How do you expect them to survive? Now, I was made to understand that certain individuals and some humanitarian organizations made donations to their camp. And from interviews, some members of the IDP camps said that government officials that are supposed to, or saddled with the responsibility of taking care of these donations and make them available for them, were diverting them. For crying out loud, how can we have government officials that should have the responsibility of taking care of IDP camps, diverting provisions, diverting relief materials that were provided by some individuals and some humanitarian organizations?
They are diverting the materials and supports given to people in IDP camps.
Yes, and that was what led to the first protest. Then this is a second protest after the visit of the First Lady.
Right.
Right. Now they are the one tagging that 1 billion donation.
Okay.
Of the First Lady for the IDP camps. They're the one tagging it that is for resettlement. What do they mean by resettlement? Are they going to build houses for them, or what? How many buses would they use to charter or to take them from where they currently are to where back to their ancestral home?
You know, there's so much concern in all of this, because I know about CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, Lagos, asking people to donate after that year water incident happened, and trust me, it was loads of trucks, not 1, not 2, not 5, that went to Benue State to support people in IDP camps. Exactly. And we also saw a lot of multinationals, a lot of private individuals supporting these people. And if you have a 1 million donation, sometimes Nigerians begin to wonder, how many are we in Nigeria? What's the population of the people that were displaced? So what exactly is keeping the government from doing the right thing? But beyond all of this, what are the primary concerns of the people in the IDP camps? And how have they been affected by this crisis? I think that it's unfortunate that people that are supposed to be their brothers would rather divert some of the supports that they've gotten. There are complaints about pregnant women and children. A woman spoke about pregnant women who have even lost their pregnancies. How are they faring? Yeah. What exactly are they asking for?
That's why I said they are not asking for too much. They are just asking for the basic services that a human being needs. Now, how do you expect people that are living in an open place, right? Their current shelter don't have mosquito nets or what will prevent mosquitoes from biting them, right? There's no medical service within the camp. And that is why some of these women lost their pregnancies while they are in camp. Now, the protesters are not asking for too much, just the way I said. The services that the government is supposed to render to them. There are departments, there are units that are supposed to provide these things. There's supposed to be a department that is in charge of food, department that is in charge of medical service, department that is in charge of water, department that is in charge of some other things that they need. But why are we not seeing this? The embarrassing thing is that IDPs interviewed either on newspaper or electronic media made some concerns or raised concerns that government officials are the ones diverting these relief materials. Why should they be?
So if they are alleging that government officials are diverting these materials, that's a strong allegation, and it's something that is heartbreaking, because no human should do that to another human, let alone your own brothers. But if they are alleging that government officials are diverting this support, why are they not calling names? Why have we not heard any names? And of course, people are concerned because when issues like this come up, you have to be, I mean, as logical as possible to not be driven by emotions. If the protest by the IDP is not politically motivated, if it is a genuine cry for help, how can the government differentiate between legitimate concerns of the people and potential political manipulations?
Now, just the way I said, an IDP camp is supposed to be structured, despite the fact that it's going to be a temporary abode.
Right.
Now, in the IDP camp, the IDP should have a head, a leader from that very community where they moved them from, right? And that leader from that community should be able to establish the different families that come from Yelwata. And those different families that come from Yelwata should also have a head that the central head should be working very closely with. As these relief materials come, they are supposed to make them available to the head of the IDP camp, who is also from that very community, right? From that head, they will now see how to distribute these items down the ladder to these various heads of families that come from the Yelwata community. I think that's the best thing to do. You must have an ad hoc structure that should be on ground, so that the representative of government, as they are coming in, they will take stock from individuals or humanitarian organizations that are coming to give these relief materials to them. How many bags of rice did we get today? How many bags of beans did we get? How many mattresses did we get? These are the things that they are supposed to put and begin to and take stock of. Now, how many families don't have mattresses? How many families need the rice? How do they now distribute them? You know, there should be a standby or a stationary medical health center, a temporary one that should be there at the camp to take care of, because you know you are bringing different people from different background. Right. There's a possibility of epidemic, right? Because you don't know who is carrying one sickness or disease to the camp. So they must have a medical facility, a temporary one that should be there with nurses and doctors, right? Because these donations, just the way I said, must come through a process. Are they going through that process? Is the government going through that process, or they are deliberately capitalizing on the inadequacies or the disadvantaged position of these IDPs, you know, to take away what duly belongs to them? Just the way I said in my opening remarks, an average thief person is a very hardworking person. It is not a person's intention to be there, and that is why they are so okay. Rather than giving us what belongs to them, you are taking it away. Okay, for that reason, let us go back to our community and go and see how we can take care of ourselves. We cannot continue to keep us here, and what comes to us, food, other materials, we are not seeing them. Right. These IDPs are not blind. They know what comes in. They hear pronouncements from the list, from the mouth of donors, right? So no matter how they want to do it, the best, when you want to get the real information or the raw data, it is from the victims themselves.
People that were affected.
Yes, that are affected.
But I want to take on something you said.
Yes.
An average thief person is not a lazy person. I mean, everybody, even in the First Lady's remarks, she acknowledged how important Benue State is to Nigeria. And of course, agriculture is a way of life in Benue State. And you just said that the people are saying that if you cannot provide us with the basics, let us return to our homes, our ancestral homes. But I want to ask you, as a security expert, what's the security situation in Yelwata? Has any progress been made?
Now, there's no visible progress in terms of the security situation in Yelwata. The community is still the way it is. Just the way I said, the way we address these security issues in Nigeria, we do it from top to bottom. Top to bottom meaning that when these attacks happen, the highest that the military and the police will do is to see how to deploy soldiers and police to that community where these attacks happen. When they are there for a while, they retreat, they pull them out, right? And they post them to some other other operations that they embark on.
But now, are they rebuilding people's homes? Because you cannot keep people, say that 1 billion naira is for resettlement. You're not even being accountable for some of the other donations that had been received earlier. So are they rebuilding the homes that were burnt? What is done in that community? Or the picture is just still the same?
It's still the same. So nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And that is why I am concerned about these donations, right? Monies have come in cash and otherwise. What are they doing with the cash? Now, they want to hide under the guys that the 1 billion naira is for resettlement. And I asked, are you there? Are they taking the money to go and see how to build houses for them? Or what are they going to do with the money? Right? I mean, if you intend resettling them by they are using that 1 billion naira, they must be alive before you resettle them or before you take them back to their communities. So if they don't have food to eat, for crying out loud, what of all essence is the 1 billion that you want to carry out resettlement or relocation processes and all that. You see, there is a deliberate thing, and that is why we keep talking about corruption. This is corruption here. Now they are seeing 1 billion naira, and they are already looking at how they that are comfortable in their homes and offices, how they want to benefit from that 1 billion naira. Meanwhile, the people or the victims that are entitled to that 1 billion naira, what will get to them will be very insignificant, right? So why are we doing this to ourselves? We don't have people of integrity. People with integrity that are in our various offices that are working for us. We have a governor that is a priest. Who are these people that are working with the governor that cannot be held accountable? Where victims that are languishing in poverty and all that in a camp that is not their intention, and they are there complaining of just food, common food, for crying out loud.
One would have expected so much from a state like Benue, having a priest as the governor. One would have expected so much from the position of how church leaders try to make it seem like they are more interested in the well-being of church members or worshippers rather than the donations or maybe the four walls of the church. This is quite saddening and heartbreaking. Again, I'm going to ask you, Father Aliyah, do you think that he has a grip on this reality in Benue State?
I think he has not woken up from his slumber yet.
Till when?
On a serious note. Sorry?
Up till when? When will he be awake?
I don't know when he wants to be awake. Because, you see, the realities are there. They are dawning on him, right? Now, we talk about insecurity and all that. We talk of these attacks. Now, you have moved these people from their community into a place. Even where they are, the basic needs you cannot still provide. So what are we saying? And people that are working with you, he appointed them. So if they are failing in their responsibility, why is he still keeping them?
He sacked some of his appointees, actually. He sacked some of them, and today he sent a list of 8 nominations to the House of Assembly for confirmation and approval to become commissioners. But do you think that is going to change what is happening in Benue State? Do you think this is as a result of the feedbacks he has gotten and is trying to maybe right the wrongs?
Now, a government that is supposed to be transparent and accountable, you have asked some of your commissioners to go, right? I'm pretty sure that in that is the sack list. There's the commissioner for humanitarian and disaster management. I think his name is there also. If he has asked the commissioner to go for reasons based on what we are talking about, he should let the people of the state know that I've asked the commissioner for humanitarian services and disaster management to go because I saw that he failed in his carrying out his responsibility, right? And also, even if at that, the executive secretary of the state emergency management agency should also be asked to go, because all the bulk of the whatever we are seeing here lies on their decks as well. So if the emergency agency is not doing what they need to do, and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs also did not do what is expected of them, as a result of some bad eggs that they have within their system that are failing to carry out their responsibility or deliberately failing to carry out the activities of their agency or responsibilities for the victims that are there in IDP camps. So as a transparent governor, he should tell the people that this is the reason why I've asked the commissioner to go. Then there will be hope that the new one that is coming in will sit up and see that the responsibilities of the agency or the ministry is adequately met. But
Absolutely.
you have just asked people to go without telling us the reason why you have asked them to go. Is it that they have not met up the KPI?
So there was a
Or,
there was a release to follow up with that announcement. I think the SAC came on Tuesday or Wednesday. Then the new list is out. As a matter of fact, before the end of the day, I didn't follow up with it, but I'm sure that the response of the House of Assembly could have been released before the end of the day, or maybe they might just move it to next week. But almost all the commissioners are leaving. Just I think just two of his appointees were retained, and he said that is the first list. Another list will follow up next week. So whatever his decisions are, I mean, we really need a proactive governor. Enough of all of these things happening under the watch of someone that is supposed to be a father to the people, to the state. I mean, a lot of things can go wrong, but there's something that comes when you have a pat on the back, knowing that you're not in this alone. But that's where we draw the curtain on that conversation. Please stay on the call, Dr. Okwari. Let's go on this break. When we return, we'll come to talk about the Renew Hope World Development Program initiated by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is said to be a significant initiative aimed at driving grassroots economic growth and addressing poverty across Nigeria local government areas. As a matter of fact, words. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with People's Voice on VOP television. So here's the story. The Renewed Hope World Development Program, RHWDP, is a significant initiative, according to the federal government, aimed at driving grassroots economic growth and addressing poverty across Nigeria's 8,809 wards. So here are some of the key points about the program. The RHWDP seeks to alleviate poverty, ensure food security, improve rural infrastructure, enhance power supply, and create jobs across the country. The aim is to stimulate economic growth in rural areas and improve the overall quality of lives of the Nigerian people. The government has also rolled out the implementation framework, and it says that the program will involve the 3 tiers of government, federal, state, and local, in its implementation. The National Steering Committee will oversee the program with the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning acting as the secretariat. The program sets minimum thresholds for economic activities with at least 1,000 in smaller wards and 2,000 in larger wards. This approach is designed to ensure that each ward has a meaningful level of economic activity. I mean, this is like bringing governance to the grassroots, with the federal government having a eye in every local government area and as far as the wards. There's also the talk around infrastructural development, which the program has included plans to expedite infrastructure projects such as the Lagos-Calabar and Sokoto-Badagry highways. This will help improve connectivity and also facilitate economic growth. The program also includes an expansion of the National Food Feeding Program, which aims to increase enrollment and reduce child poverty in the country. Yes, the National Economic Council, NEC, has also instructed state governments to strengthen their emergency management agencies and ask the Federal Ministry of Finance to release emergency funding to address issues like flooding. But overall, the RHWDP is a comprehensive initiative that aims to address some of Nigeria's most pressing development challenges, and its success solely depends on effective implementation, coordination, and monitoring, and of course, most importantly, the willingness or the political will of the people in charge to do what is right. I mean, we've been talking about the IDPs in Benue State, and I know that this is not peculiar to Benue State, because sometimes when issues come up like this and stories start making it to the headlines, you hear about states being affected, communities being affected, and you hear the kind of figures being donated, you begin to wonder how many people are actually affected. Even if you give them the monies, their lives will be better off. But you hear these announcements, and at the end of the day, you can't really say so much about how well the people are doing. But still, I'll be joined by Dr. Steve Okware to talk about this development by the Renewed Hope World Program. So, Dr. Steve Okware, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, so you've seen this program as initiated by the presidency. It's a Renewed Hope program, and of course, they talk about reducing poverty, empowering the people, economic growth, and interstate connectivity. That will also help when a lot of states can connect without having to use the roads and all. All of the projects put together is supposed to better the lives and productivities of Nigerians. But what specific strategies, looking at what our antecedent has been like when it comes to giving support to locals, what specific strategies do you think that they need to employ to ensure effective implementation and coordination across 8,809 wards?
It is such a bogus policy. Very bogus. Imagine the number of wards that you called, over 8,000.
Yeah, 8,809.
Now, we have just 774 local governments. 774 local governments. Half. Ade, you are laughing.
Doctor, go ahead.
How functional? Just a local governments that are constitutionally supposed to have their allocation, monthly allocation, directly to them. Directly to them. How many local governments that do we have in this country that are functional, that are carrying out the administrative, their other services that are supposed to render at the local government level? The local governments are the closest to the grassroots. And we're talking about empowering grassroots people and all that. And the local government that is even a tier of government is not functional due to their resources not going directly to them. The president, kudos to him for trying his best to see that he got court judgment for local government funds to go straight to local government. Despite the court judgment from the Supreme Court, the apex court of Nigeria, how many governors have obeyed that court judgment from the Supreme Court that have allowed the local government resources to go straight to local government? How many states? Right. So it's a deliberate thing. You see, we cannot bring Japanese or Chinese from their country to come and make Nigeria work. It is we Nigerians that will make Nigeria work. That's why I say it's a bogus policy. If we have the intention, the deliberate intention to make that policy work, and we have men of integrity, we keep having people saddled with this kind of responsibilities. People, I'm sorry to say, that messed this country up. They are the ones still in government. And you are telling us that they are ready to make the government, to make it work, to make Nigeria work. I don't understand. If you have a vehicle that is always giving you problems, and you have a mechanic that you go day in, day out to visit, to fix that vehicle, and each time you go, it's the same problem, will you still go back to that mechanic to continue to see how to rather fix your car than condemning it?
Unfortunately, this is where we are.
Yeah.
And we have to find a way around this situation, because it might look like a good policy, but at the end of the day, Nigerians are not even excited when we hear news like this, because it just feels like this is another way to enrich a certain class of people.
Exactly. In the last administration of late President Muhammadu Buhari, over 90 billion was spent on school feeding during COVID, when all schools were shut down. So how were they feeding children? How? When we are talking about school feeding, school feeding. So were they going to feed children in their houses when they were not in school? That minister then, what happened to her?
Nothing.
She's parading, going up and down, and nothing is happening to her. How can you spend 90 billion for school feeding when when schools were shut down?
Doctor, it was so bad that during COVID, even in Lagos State, a member of the Lagos State or House of Assembly actually, I don't know how to put these words, save or stole the palliatives. It was so terrible that she had to give it out on her own birthday ceremony. She celebrated her birthday when the lockdown was relieved, and she shared souvenirs with the tag palliative, COVID palliative, and people made videos and posted online. It's really unfortunate that we have very not just insensitive, very wicked people within the corridors of power. But with this intention being good, like you agree and I agree, what role will the National Steering Committee play in overseeing this? And how will they ensure accountability and transparency in program implementation? Because we can't go to space to bring people to help us. At the end of the day, people like you and I will be employed. What exactly is wrong with our system? What exactly happens to people when they are appointed and they just become something else? What is the problem?
There's nothing wrong with our system. It is we, the Nigerian citizens, that are the operators of the system, that are messing the system up. You have a structure. Now the renewed hope worldwide, what that you mentioned is already there. There's a policy. I'm pretty sure that there will be a policy document. Who now the Minister of Budget and one other ministry are saddled with the responsibilities of steering the policy. Now, under that policy document, there will be different heads at the state, at the local government, at the ward levels, and all that. These different heads that will be appointed at the end of the day, will they have, or do they have that integrity that now that we have been appointed, this is the purpose, this is our responsibility, and all that. We should not put personal interest first. We should put service first to see that the aim of this policy that the president has brought on board will be achieved. Are they interested? Do we have people like that? Integrity is doing what is right when nobody is watching you.
Right.
Do we have? You see, we miss all that. We don't have patriotic Nigerians. I'm sorry to say, because we cannot continue to do things the same way and we expect a different result. It's like a vicious cycle, going round and round and round, things coming up to see that the welfare of the people are improved upon and all that. The president might have good intention, good will, but down the ladder, the people that are going to carry out those responsibilities or tasks, at the end of the day, will they be accountable? Because in this part of the world, there is no punishment for doing wrong. There's no consequences for doing wrong. And that is why we are where we are.
So what can we do,
Right,
Doctor? What can we do?
Rather than punishing, we reward.
Because we don't want to get to the point where Nigerians have to, I mean, it's becoming too frequent. Nigerians go on the streets for the slightest thing. As in the basic things. I mean, we even go to church, we even have to go to mosques or go to wherever we worship to pray for things that are naturally supposed to be given to us as citizens. I mean, it's not even supposed to be so much work to be done.
Exactly.
They've talked about infrastructural development. They've talked about school feeding programs. We know what happened with the last administration. What is the way forward? And in your opinion, do you think that the government of the day should go ahead with this program, in your sincere opinion? Or what alternatives will you suggest?
Now, if, of course, the intention of the program is clear, right, to improve the economy of Nigerians at the grassroots, right, to see how to reduce poverty, to see how to make them gainfully employed, all right, to see how to engage them, right, to see how to take their minds off issues that has to do with insecurity and the likes. Because when you engage them, they become busy, you know, and all that. Because, you know, they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. They won't be thinking of something negative to do. Okay. Now, that's the intention of the president. Now, the drivers of this policy, the drivers of the intention of the president, do they mean well? Does the way the president means well?
That's a question that we would not get answers to, really. But we need to go, Doctor, in 30 seconds. What alternatives? Is this a go, or you think it should not go through?
Yeah, that's the way I said. The intention is for good.
So should we go through with it? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes,
All right.
yes. If it's good, yeah, we should go.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
The aim, we should be aiming at the aim, right? And not looking at the disadvantages now. Then we should be aiming at the aim. But for a start, let us do a test. Let us do a test run.
All right.
Right. Do a test run. We have 36 tests.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. We need to go. We are pressed for time. Thank you so much. And that's the much we can take on People's Voice today. To our viewers, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Till I come your way next time, next week, I am Adefunke Jaisimi.